This is Music, and this is another episode of Made of Steel. Welcome to another episode of Made of Steel, a series of videos where I go through my collection of Band-Maid releases and I just talk about them, so these are not reaction videos. This one is going to be a bit different because I'm not going to be talking about a CD or a digital file or digital release. I'm going to be talking about Blu-ray here. And this one is the online Okyu-Ji, or something like that, from the 11th of February 2021. So this was a live show that Band-Maid did, streamed, so there was no live audience other than some camera people. But it was streamed out to the world, to all the Maidiacs out there, so they could get their fix of live music from Band-Maid, because I mean they're known to be a fantastic live band. And as you can see, the set list is massive, so I'm not going to be going through every song on the set list one by one. That would be too much. It'll be too long of a video. So I'm just going to give you my sort of overall impressions of it. In terms of the sort of physical aspect here, there's not that much to show. You got the disc, and you have a book. That's the disc. You have a booklet here, and the booklet is pretty simple. On the front you have the cover artwork. On the back you have a very small Band-Maid bow. I still want that on a t-shirt. And then you have the set list and some liner notes, and that's about it. You also have this graphic here, and that's kind of like a graphic that recurs a couple of times during the show to sort of represent when they sort of go back to their old material and go, forward to new material. So online Okyu-Ji, or serving, I think that's what they call their shows. I watched most of it yesterday, and then I watched the encore this morning, and it's really great for me to see these songs experienced live. I mean, obviously it would have been more cool to be at a show and watch them live, but just seeing them perform. Now, obviously I've seen some YouTube clips and things like that, but it's cool to watch an entire set, a really long set as well, with all these great songs performed live. And you do have a lot of the good ones, all the good ones, all their songs are good songs, so that's easy. But you have just to mention some of my kind of favorites, you have Black Hole, you have Thrill, Real Existence, the naughty one, Don't Let Me Down, Alone, and that's just in a row, all those songs. You have a live version of Sayonaki Dori. You have Choose Me, which is also great. Non-Fiction Days as well. And, all the songs are really good. Great songs, and the performance is also fantastic. All the ladies perform, excellent performance on all the instruments. Saiki sounds spectacular. Her singing is just on point all the time. It's great. Miku sounds great too. She seems a bit restrained in the first couple of songs where she does some singing, but eventually, she starts belting and screaming and cool stuff too. It's a great show. Now, there's no audience there, and it does take the ladies a couple of songs to get warmed up. It seems like Black Hole kind of does the trick. After Black Hole, they seem warmed up and they're at a very high energy level that is sort of retained throughout most of the show. There are some stage banter interludes where the energy drops a bit, and had it been like it is a live show, but a show with a live audience in house, I think the energy level would have remained kind of high, because you got the buzz and the yells and all that stuff from the audience. Obviously, that is missing here with no audience I almost said in the studio, but they have set up a stage. It does look like a live show, but there's no audience, so there's no in-house energy for the band to feed off. But that considered, pretty impressive level of energy actually. But after these stage banter interludes, they do have to just get up in gear again. Pretty much every song after an interlude, you can see that they just have to get warmed back up again, and that happens throughout the song. So it's very impressive that they can sort of retain that level of energy, given there's no in-house audience. The stage banter is kind of interesting. I don't know if this is typical of their live shows, but the stage and I don't understand obviously what they're saying, but the stage banter seems or reminds me more of rehearsal room banter. So that's kind of interesting. They do have a spell casting session. I think that's part of all the shows, and I think it goes back to the sort of Band-Maid, not Band-Maid, Maid Cafe job that Miku had before forming this band. And that one is a bit awkward, because it is a kind of a thing that has some call response stuff going on normally, and you can see that almost that it seems a bit awkward, and you can see that I think Miku realizes this is a bit strange with no live audience as well. But kudos to them for actually having it, and hopefully when it was streamed, all the Maidiacs watching at home were yelling in response. So there are these kind of awkward and not low energy, I wouldn't call them that, but these moments where it's clear that there's no in-house audience. But apart from that, it's a great show. All the songs are performed well. As I said, I think I said that Saiki sounds phenomenal. And one thing that's really cool is to actually get to see Misa play the bass in these songs, so you can really appreciate what a great bass player she is. She seems a bit more introvert on stage than the other members, but apparently she's extremely shy, so kudos to her for being a rock star. But very cool to see her play, so you can really appreciate what a great bass player she is. Same thing with Kanami on the lead guitar. Very cool to see her play the songs, play the solos. I feel like Kanami is a bit underrepresented. I feel like I would like to have seen more sort of camera focus on her, but maybe it's just because I like her guitar playing style. I just feel like she doesn't get seen as much as the other members. There is a point, I think it's in Glory, part of the encore, where her and Misa swap places on stage, and that changes up the energy completely. That's pretty cool. I hope they do this more in their real live shows. That was pretty cool, just also visually, and to get to I feel like I got to see more of Kanami when she went over on that side of the stage. So that was very cool, and I got to see more of her having eye contact with the other members of the band, which is always cool to see. One gripe I have is that the camera work annoys me a bit, especially in the beginning. It seems like in the beginning they're going for a kind of a MTV fast cutting style, which has always annoyed me. But it seems like throughout the show, maybe they realize that it works better, or maybe they just planned it like that, that you get more focus on the members of the band. And there is, I don't remember which song, but there's like in one of the songs where they show you kind of like a split screen where you get just all the focus on all the members. I wish they would have done that more. That was actually pretty cool. I get it. It was live streamed, so they probably had to do things on the fly and figure things out. It works great towards the end. But that's one gripe. Another gripe is that while the production is actually great, it sounds great. The guitar tone sounds great. It's twangy, but it has a punch to it as well. The bass, you can hear it all the time. And as I said, Saiki sounds phenomenal. And maybe it's just the TV sets I watched this one on. I could barely hear the bass drum, and that's a bit of a shame because Akane does some very, very cool things on the bass drum. But those are the sort of only gripes I kind of have with this. The rest is just awesome. Great to see, again, to see the songs performed live. And one thing that I actually think is really cool is this is kudos actually to the camera people. I like how when they do that, they zoom in on the faces of the band members, so you can really see their facial expressions. That's really awesome, especially with somebody as sort of seemingly introvert as Misa, that you get to see her actually feeling the music, and when she sways her head back and forth and her hair sort of is all over the place. It's very cool to sort of get to see that. I really like the close-ups on Saiki, and that's something I never noticed before. Her eyes are really expressive. There's just details in her eye movements that just sort of are very expressive, and she's obviously enhanced it a bit with the eyeliner that she uses. I mean, out of my comfort zone here. I don't know anything about makeup, but I think it's called eyeliner. So that just highlights her eyes, and her eyes are really expressive. If you have this one, try to watch it and focus on her eyes. That's just really, really interesting. It just adds some like a dimension to the entire experience. The same thing as I said with Misa and her facial expressions, and also with the Kanami. She also, you get to see her sort of live in the music, and then you can see her catch the eye contact sometimes with some of the other members. That's really interesting. That's a really cool actually aspect that you don't normally get if you are at a live show, because maybe you're way back in the crowd. So that's actually very cool. The highlight actually, Saiki sounds phenomenal, so her singing a highlight, but the absolute highlight to me is Akane behind the drums, because she's just smiling all the time. She makes funny facial expressions, and there's sometimes you can see she's making an expression in a camera, but they cut away too fast, or they don't manage to sort of cut to her face. That's kind of a shame, but you do see her make lots of funny faces. So she is just a ball of energy on stage. Really, really enjoyed just watching her with that big smile of hers all the time. Amazing. So she's the highlight, like in terms of the the sort of emotional expression of the members of the band. And I will say that the live version of Sayonaki Dori with Miku singing is actually great. It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite Band-Maid songs, and I feel bad for kind of saying that because it doesn't have Saiki on vocals, and I love Saiki's singing style, but it's one of my favorite songs. There are 2 instrumentals on here as well, and that's also cool. Again, I feel bad saying this because Saiki isn't on stage. I mean, she's probably enjoying getting a bit of a break. But it's really cool to just see the instrumentalists, and they interact a bit more and catch, eye contact with one another a bit more in the instrumental. So that's really interesting. So yeah, great just a great live performance. I would recommend this one. If you are Maidiac and you don't have this one, I would recommend somehow getting your hands on this one. Obviously, buying it so you can support the band. Certainly, I would recommend that if you like Band-Maid, if you're Maidiac, and if you just enjoy live music, I would recommend picking this one up as well. And if you like hard rock, you know, pick this one up. It's great. I normally don't comment on the physical appearance of musicians, especially not when it's women, because I don't think female musicians should be judged on their looks. They should be judged and evaluated on their skills as musicians, entertainers, songwriters, performers. I will make an expression here because Saiki's hair looks so healthy. I don't know what hair conditioner she uses or what shampoo she uses, but I'm gonna find out because her hair looks so healthy. I want some of that. But yeah, overall, this is great. I'm really happy I picked this one up. It was recommended to me by Maidiacs, who commented on my Made of Steel video, so I really appreciate them recommending this. I really enjoyed watching this. I'm not much of a live album guy actually, and I kind of stopped buying live DVDs and concert DVDs and concert Blu-rays, but I'm really happy that I made an exception and grabbed this one because it's great. Really appreciated watching these live. Band-Maid is one of those bands I hope to be able to watch live in person at some point, even if I have to jump on a fucking plane and fly all the way to Tokyo, which I wouldn't mind actually doing, because I've been to Japan a number of times. I love going there. It's one of my favorite places in the world to visit. I have some very good friends there too, so that helps a lot, of course. But yeah, anyways, I'm starting rambling. If you like live music, live hard rock, check this one out. If you are a Maidiac and you can get your hands on this one, it's almost like a must-have, I would say. Yeah, awesome stuff. So I really enjoyed watching Online Okyu-Ji, February 11th, 2021. And yeah, I gotta have me some of that hair conditioner. Thanks for watching.